Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also discuss how we're going to fix it together. Now, the content this morning goes towards just that goal. We covered something a little while ago that became part of the negotiation from the 20 holdouts against McCarthy that is so important and so crucial to our gun rights every single day, and yet the media is not going to tell you about it. Very interesting, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments below because this is massive. Now, if you are new or a returning viewer, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell. We need as many people as we can to get in the fold, in the trenches with us every single day so we can pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. And thank you so much in advance for your consideration. The sponsor for today is the Second Press. Now, I founded the Second Press as our way to fight back. It is a centralized location for anything and everything 2A related and passing the blessing on to the next generation. We are not only going to tell you what's going on, but we're also going to start to change the culture together in a positive way for our gun rights. This is something that has never been done before, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. Now, we are creating original, shareable Pro 2A articles, narrating podcasts, founding multiple YouTube channels, and offering exclusive content with your favorite 2A creators on our Substack. Please support us by joining the website for free, and thank you so much in advance, and I look forward to seeing you at the Second Press. There's a link in the description box below. But my brothers and sisters, we have got to hit this because this is so massive, it's hard to overstate. Remember how I talked to you about something called the Weaponization of Government subcommittee? You remember that? It was in the early negotiations, and I said, if this becomes a thing, we're going to nail it. It became a thing. Check this out from his own words, Representative Dan Bishop from North Carolina on Chuck Todd's show, Meet the Press. Check this out. And interestingly enough, the media is not telling you about it. Wonder why.
There's several other details, but the big one, or a big one for me, and that I worked on personally, we have nailed down in complete detail the terms of a select committee to investigate the weaponization of the federal government against Americans and to make sure that it is sufficiently vested with authority to get the job done.
All right, that is so massive. It's hard to overstate how important that is. During these negotiations, you know, these Republicans, they were called, I believe they were called terrorists by Dan Crenshaw. Yeah, the Republicans were against them, the Democrats were against them, the media were against them. Nothing good came out of it, all selfishness. Except for this one little detail where they put together a subcommittee with the authority, the power, and the efficiency to actually investigate weaponization of government agencies against Americans. That would be like the FBI, the DOJ, the ATF, the CDC, all the areas where the government has been encroaching upon the rights of its citizenry. There's now a subcommittee going to be investigating it with the actual authority to do so. I would imagine it would be underneath the Judiciary Committee with Jim Jordan as the chair. I don't know that yet, but that's where I would imagine that it would go. That is so incredibly important, especially when you tie in previous actions written by Jim Jordan, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, against the ATF for usurping the power of Congress and turning citizens into felons overnight with arbitrary rules utilizing Chevron deference. This is so important, and we will be following this committee so crucially because this is what we need to see. So anyone that tells you this subcommittee, these 20 Republican holdouts didn't accomplish anything, they just brought this out of nowhere. Incredibly important. But now let's go to the second clip because there are 3 clips I want to show you. The first 2 are some really important information, and the last one is just Chuck Todd being Chuck Todd. All right, here's the second one.
On the motion to vacate the chair, you suggest that we demanded something new. No, that's been in the rules. That's been in parliamentary law in the United States since the country began until Pelosi eliminated it at the beginning of the last Congress. We simply undid the trampling upon tradition in the House that Nancy Pelosi had engaged in. So I just take a different view, okay, I think, Chuck, than you about whether this is good or bad. It's positive, not negative. It's not
right,
weakening Kevin McCarthy.
All right. So what I love about that clip, and the reason I'm putting it in there, is they imposed a motion to vacate from one individual to say, hey, Speaker, you're stepping out of line. It's a check on the Speaker's power. Now, the media, the Republicans, the Democrats, they're all going to tell you this is insane. No one would ever do this. It makes no sense. The only problem is, as Dan Bishop alluded to so well, this has been the standard since the founding of the country. It went away when Pelosi became Speaker of the House. Isn't it interesting how the media didn't hem and haw about that happening then, but now reverting back to the norm, reverting back to the mean, all of a sudden, it's a rebellious group of people. How dare they? This is insane. Dan Bishop said it so well. Pelosi stepped out of line, not the Republicans here. They returned it back to the average, the mean, the norm. That's important to understand. And this last one, I'm going to put in here because this is, for a political commentator, for someone who's supposed to be a guardian of democracy in the media, which I say that tongue-in-cheek, listen to what Chuck Todd wraps this interview up with.
People.
Do you accept the premise of majority rule? And I say that because 91% of the House Republicans wanted to elect Kevin McCarthy as Speaker for 3 days. 9% of you were holding it back, 91-9. And I ask that because you guys have control of 1/6, essentially, of government right now. If Democrats have majority in the Senate and Democrats have the White House, why shouldn't they have the lion's share of winning most negotiations?
Do you believe, Chuck, that by majority rule you mean that when a majority has decided something, or the plurality of a Republican conference, for example, the others should be told what to do? Is that what you're saying?
You get a vote, and you vote no. But you know, if there are 218 members of Congress that want to raise the debt ceiling, you can object. But there might be 218 that want to raise the debt ceiling without trying to tank the government, without doing these spending cuts, want to do it cleanly. Will you respect that?
All right. So one of the things on this channel I will continually say consistently all the time is they're always going to tell you what they're afraid of. Always. Let them talk long enough and you will find what their motivator is. There's so many problems here about what Chuck Todd is saying. First of all, two big things. Break it down. One, do you not believe in majority rule? I mean, 9% of Republicans didn't want to do this, and 91% did. So why should the 9% have a say? That's what he just said. Okay, well, that's the representative government. You're basically saying 10% of the population doesn't no say in how they're governed. That's crap. That's not our system of policy. That's a system of control. That's what he wants. The second thing here is the Democrats control 5/6 of the government infrastructure. Why shouldn't they control everything? Why shouldn't they control everything? Because it's a representative government. It's a checks and balances. They lost the House, so therefore the Senate can't trample the rights because the House has to confirm it, and the president has check on that. The executive, judiciary, and legislative, it's a whole big balance. It's called civics. Check it out, Chucky. That's the second thing. And then the third thing, they always show you what they're afraid of. What about the spending? How are you going to do this without spending cuts? All the power that goes away from Speaker McCarthy, you guys are going to cut spending. It's got to be done clean, so you just increase the debt ceiling. You know, you can go up and you can go down. It is possible, but not to the media. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.